the time because it's very advanced and it comes in a lot of forms. And that would be jump canceling. So yeah, this technique. The first thing I'll say about jump canceling before I get into an explanation of it is that it's very, very hard to do without a game controller. And as it happens, I do not have a game controller, which is why it's kind of be extremely difficult for me. Oh, you did it without bunny hopping? This jump might be possible. Well, good for you, Denfrock. Maybe I just suck. But the point is, I'm not good at bunny at jump canceling. This jump might be possible without bunny hops, simply with a very, very specific jump cancel height. But 2.375 is definitely impossible. So this jump right here, for those who haven't seen it yet. Okay, yeah, there's no way you're gonna beat this jump without bunny hopping. Just let that be known. Bunny cancel 2 pro. Yeah, it might be the V-start bug as well, but that's something else. But okay. Yeah, that might be another explanation, Ultra. I don't know. You'd have to be very precise to do it that way, but that could be what happened for you. So anyway, here's bunny. So here's jump canceling. I'm gonna keep saying bunny canceling tonight, aren't I? I'm gonna keep making that mistake. So let's go back to Gazer's program. So first off, yeah, I don't think he was playing in Insanity 1. I don't think that's where the bug occurred. So, to explain jump canceling... Oh wait, right, I forgot, I switched windows here. To explain how jump canceling works, essentially, you have to first know how jumping in the first place works in this game, so we'll get into that. So we'll start with how a full jump works. How does the game calculate the kid's behavior every time you do a full jump? Now, even though I Wanna Be the Guy game physics aren't exactly realistic, the creators of the I Wanna Be the Guy engines were very careful to make jumping pretty similar to how jumping works in real life. It does follow a basic parabolic pattern, a basic quadratic equation, which is how jumping does work in actual life. So if you look at the kid as he jumps, you can see a little parabola motion he makes. So how does the game's calculations actually work, though? Basically, yes, I want to be a guy exactly like real life. So the kid's initial velocity as he does an upward full jump is 8.1. Hold on. Sorry, I have allergies. Because if jumping was illogical, that would make the game kind of cumbersome. So the kid's initial velocity is 8.1, and every time he real life jump canceling, if I really wanted to do a small jump, I would just barely lift my feet off the ground. It's not that hard, but apparently the kid has a lot of trouble with it. So he starts at 8.1, and each frame after that he goes by 0.4 less. So his initial speed is 8.1 to 7.7 to 7.3 to 6.9, and so on. And this keeps going until the kid reaches the peak of his jump, at which point his speed goes from 0.9 to 0.5 to 0.1, and then it becomes negative. So now he's falling by 0.3, by 0.7, by 0.1, by 1.1, and so on. So that's basically a calculation of a full jump. So that's simple enough. Now the real question is, how does the game calculate the kid's jump when he does a not full jump, when he does like these several frame long jumps? How does the game calculation work for that? So again, the creators, for whatever reason, were trying to be somewhat logical here at least. I mean, one thing they could have done was just make it so that when the kid when you let go of the shift button, the kid just immediately stops ascending and just starts falling. They could have done that. But of course, that would have looked really weird, because if the kid just immediately stops ascending, then when we let go of shift, it would essentially look like he banged his head on the ceiling every time he jumped. Maybe it is Kiyomi. So clearly, it's a good thing that this is not how jumping works, because this would look really weird if that happened without the block in my way. So that's not what happens. If the crit would have been a little bit more realistic. Oh, it's not logical at all, but it's closer to being logical, Hector. That's kind of the point. So, if the game wanted to be completely realistic, the way small jumps would work would be that the kid's initial velocity was actually smaller than the normal 8.1. That's actually how it works for double jumps. As you guys know, double jumps are shorter than full jumps, and it's because the initial velocity is 6.6 rather than 8.1. But that wouldn't actually work pretty well in gameplay, because the game wouldn't know you're in... How many FPS has the real life have? Let's see here. I think a plonk time... what's the plonk time again? It's been a while. I think it was around 10 to negative 43 seconds. So that would, if I'm right there, then real life has 10 to the 43 FPS. So it's pretty high resolution in my opinion. Anyway, that wouldn't work this wouldn't work really well as a jumping mechanic, because the game wouldn't know the kid's initial velocity until after you let go of the shift button. No, 10 to the positive 43 FPS. It's 10 to the negative 43 seconds is 1 frame. So in a full second, there's 10 to the 43 frames. But you guys can look it up. Look up plonk time, and you'll get the exact number. How many subparticles to a line? Well, let's see here. The average person... Well, I think the average person moves less than 1 plonk per frame, so there wouldn't actually be any lines. There are no lines in real life. Just saying. You'll never have to worry about those. I think it's, I'll put in this chat, PLANCK time. I think this is right. Go look that up. Okay. While focusing on I want to be the guy physics. Oh, Kiyomi has it up. Let me see. Oh, 10 to negative 44. Sorry. So, 10 to the 44 seconds. 10 to the 44 FPS. So the point is, that is not how jumping works in this game. It would be very illogical, because the game wouldn't know how fast to make the kid's initial ascent until after let go of shift. Which would mean the kid wouldn't actually be able to do jumping at all until you pressed and let go of the shift button. So that would slow gameplay down by a lot, and it wouldn't work very well. So that's not how it works either. The way this game works... Oh my god, then. The way this works is that the kid, when you press shift, will start at its full initial velocity of 8.1, even if you're about to do a short jump. However, the moment you let go of jump... Is triple diamond possible in real life? I mean, you have to be rather fast. I would guess Usain Bolt could beat the triple diamond. I don't think I could. The way the game works is that the kid's initial velocity when he does a jump is full speed, but when you let go of the shift button, the game doesn't want you to slow down to 0 completely, but instead it halves your speed. When you press shift but let go of it, the kid's vertical velocity is actually halved, and that results in you performing a much smaller jump. And the earlier you let go of shift, the earlier your speed is halved, and thus the lower you go. To be precise, your speed is multiplied by 0.45, but I'll just say halved. So that seems logical enough, okay? But here's where jump canceling comes in, and that is, what would happen if you release shift multiple times in a single jump to slow you down several times? To be formal, when you let go of shift, it performs a specific game command called release shift. I'm pretty sure this is what it's called. I'm pretty sure there's something in the actual game code there's a command called release shift, and it occurs when, simply put, when you let go of shift button. And oh my god, and release shift is the command that has that halves your speed every time you let go of shift during a regular jump. But there is nothing in the game code that stops you from performing multiple release shifts in a single jump and having your speed extra times. And this is easiest to demonstrate with double jumps. The reason it's easy to demonstrate with double jumps is because all you have to do is after you press the shift the second time for your double jump, if you let go of shift and press it a third time and let go of it again, well, as you guys know, there's no triple jumping in I Want to Be the Guy games, assuming we're not in water. So after your double jump, if you press shift again, nothing happens. There's no triple jump. The game sees you press shift the third time, but nothing happens. But when you let go of shift the third time, that performs an extra release shift, and that is why it results in your speed being halved again, resulting in a lower jump. So that is where a jump canceling occurs in double jumps. In real life, all it takes is just to make a really big step. But as anyone who's played VVV knows, it's not always that easy, is it? To just step over things. What is this? There's no way it's an actual game actor. There's no way anyone ever made that game. If someone doesn't make that game, they should be ashamed of themselves. So let me show that off. It's not gonna be obvious from what I'm doing here, but if I repeatedly press shift, from using both left and right shift, then I can perform a quick double jump cancel. I am performing it with varying degrees of success here, but yeah. So that's basically how double jump canceling works. So I cancel double jump. And let's see here. What was my example for that again? Alright, here we go. So as an example of that, let's go over to I Want to Be the Butterfly Nova. So I Want to Be the Butterfly Nova is a game that very well demonstrates several of these techniques I'm about to show you. Show off Lemon's video because it's just this one jump at the end of the game. Congratulations, Hector, you've beaten an insanely difficult jump. Clearly the hardest jump in I Want to Be the Butterfly Nova. You're referring to that jump at the beginning. Oh yeah, I saw, Hector, a very nice job. Yeah, the first jump, but okay. But this is the last jump of Butterfly Nova, and it is obviously much harder than everything before it in the game. But as you can see here, this is not a regular invert. This is not a 32 pixel gap, it's only a 28 pixel gap. So a regular double jump, even a one frame double jump, will not be short enough to get through here. So instead, what you have to do is a double jump cancel, which you'll see here. There you go. Okay. So that's just a simple demonstration of double jump canceling. So that's pretty much jump canceling in its most basic version. Yeah, I have to wonder if the creator of Butterfly Nova actually thought that was hard. At least compared to the other stuff he made. I mean, who knows how much he understands about his own game, considering he clearly didn't test it. If he actually tested his game, it would probably have been possible. But anyway. So let's go on to single jump canceling, because that's actually where things get a lot more interesting. Hold on, I need a drink of water. Be right back. I'm actually gonna go fill up my water bottle so I can stop leaving. Okay. Yes, I that was obviously, that was definitely an intended part of I want to beat the Butterfly Nova. Yeah, of course not lemon. I tried. Bonking does put you onto the right line, but it messes other things up. So everything with that jump is impossible otherwise. But you'll see what I mean in a second. For you guys, if you guys don't know what I'm referring to. But so single jump canceling. So single jump canceling clearly doesn't work the same way as double jump canceling, because it has a problem if you try to perform the extra shift releases, the extra release shifts. Let's see here. Because if you try doing, so you press shift to do your single jump, then you let go of shift. So if you want to perform a second release shift, you would have to press shift down again for you to release it again. But pressing shift down again after a single jump does not cause nothing. It causes a double jump. So the existence of double jumps interferes with your ability to perform a single jump cancel. So how do we get over that? Well, the most basic way to get over that would be through, oh, you figured out a little bit more about that? Maybe, good, show me that later. I haven't gotten a chance to do any more tests on that recently, but I'll do a little more research on that when I get a chance. Exactly, Den. The reason you need to do what you get over it is that you have to do it on the first frame of the jump. You see, what you can do is you first do a jump like I did, like first start with a full jump and continue to hold the shift button down. So right now, even though you can't see it, my right shift button is still being held down. And what you want to do is in one frame, one right after the other, you want to let go of the right shift and then press the left shift, or vice versa. And what happens there is that after you let go of the right shift, that performs the release shift command. And then when you press the left shift, obviously that results in a single jump. And if you did both in the same frame, the release shift, despite the fact that it actually occurred before the jump, the game will read it as happening because having the same frame as the jump. It will actually that release shift will actually slow down your jump. So that will result in a release shift being performed immediately, and your left finger or whatever finger is still holding down a shift button. So let's see if I can get that to happen. Probably take me a few tries, because like I said before, I really suck at jump canceling. There you go, like that. So that was essentially a one-frame jump there, resulting from me performing a release shift right at the beginning of the jump. Thank you, Den, for that encouraging advice. And then you can jump even lower than that by releasing your other shift button after you release the first one. So that would essentially result in two release shifts occurring, which would result in you doing a micro jump. So let me demonstrate that in another video. So let's go back to a Butterfly Nova. That's also, again, this is very relevant. Sand Sky, sure. So this jump right here is a very hard jump that requires you, well, it requires two things. First, you have to be on the right pixel line, but that's obviously the easy part. You just have to touch one of these walls up here and you'll be fine. But more importantly, it requires you to do an extremely tiny jump to get into here before you do your double jump. And even a one-frame single jump will not suffice. Even if your jump here is one frame, you will not be able to get low enough to do this jump just right. You have to be able to micro jump, which requires jump canceling. That requires at least two release shifts. So you're gonna see how Sand does it here, and you're gonna see, like I was demonstrating before, he has a preparatory single jump where he just jumps into the ceiling above his head. And the reason he does that is so the shift will be already held down while he's on the floor. And what he's going to do is let go of that shift and press another shift and let go of that shift to perform a jump cancel, and that's what you're going to see here. So, preparatory jump, then jump cancel, and that's how he beats the jump. And then as you see here, he beats the segment, I think. Yeah, pretty good. So the point is, that is how you do that is the regular method for a single jump cancel. I think you have more leniency to double jump. Wait, are you referring specifically to this jump here, or to jump canceling in general, Hector? For this jump, I think the second jump has to either be a 1-frame jump or a... Oh wait, the double jump. Yeah, the double jump also has to be 2 frames. Yeah, 1 frame makes you too low. That was the problem. Jump canceling can be hard if you have trouble with the shift timing. Like, it's hard to explain because clearly you don't have that problem. But, wait, am I on the right window here? Whatever. This isn't the... Oh, I should be using a better window, but this is still good enough. Okay, but the point is, it can be hard for me because it's like, I kind of have a psychological problem where, where I'm planning to let go of the shift in the future, that actually makes it harder for me to time in the present the change and shift. Like, some other players have had similar problems with me in various situations, where we can easily do jumps that involve various timings, but doing things at the same time is for some reason a lot harder, because it's very confusing to multitask the various keys you have to press. So, I don't know. Yes, I have psychological problems, like insanity. Like, 10 minutes? Oh. Okay, so clearly Den Frog does not have psychological problems. He is a very sane man, and he's a very good player. Let that be well known. But for me, I have a lot of trouble with jump canceling for that reason. And it also made hard, and this also comes up when I try doing 1-frame jumping as well, which is relatively similar. So, okay, so... Now, you might see how this technique for single jump canceling is actually very limited, because, it's only useful for performing micro jumps. Like when you're doing a jump cancel in this method, again, you're able to do 2 release shifts, but the first release shift has to be on the initial frame of the jump, right? So, no matter when the second release shift is, it will result in you being less than a 1-frame jump. So it essentially shows that you can only do a half-frame jump using this method, and you cannot see a 1.5 or 2.5 or 3.5 frame single jump using this method, while the double jump canceling method can let you do almost anything. You can do 3.5 frame double jumps, 1.5 frame double jumps, because you have full control over both of your release shifts. You made a video where you see a variety? Oh, I'll look at that later. So then, the question is there a way to do this with single jumps? Is there a way to perform, say, a 3.5 frame single jump? One that's taller than a 3-frame jump, but less than a 4-frame jump? Well, the game I Want to Beat the Cactus Jump will explore that question. So let's pull that one up now. And as I mentioned last week, we still don't necessarily understand it very well. I might as well just show the original Hector's video, because he made it. Because this is kind of confusing, because we don't actually know exactly how Cactus Jumping works yet. We have some sense of it, but there's a little bit of confusion here. But here we go. So okay, that was the Cactus Jump. That looked fine. I'll show you. What is that? What was that? Hold on. What, did you see that in one of the links or something? Oh. Yeah, this looks like a stupid copyrighted video. I don't give a shit about it. Though I'm sure some of you will make a fan game called that. Yeah, that's clearly just a song. But anyway, going back to this video here. So this doesn't look like a very complex jump, but the problem is, if you do a 4-frame jump here, you hit the spike and you go too high. 4-frame jump is too much. If you do a 3-frame jump, you'll go too low. You will not make it over this spike. So, what you need is some sort of 3.5-frame single jump that lets you go just the exact height you need. And I've tested it out myself. Vertical lines will not solve this problem. No matter which vertical line it is, even if it's an unstable vertical line, you will not be able to single jump the right height to get in here. So how do you do this jump? Well, basically, let's go back to Microsoft Word here to explain what's happening on a frame-by-frame level as best as we know it. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. I think this is the last time I have to really use Microsoft Word. Okay. So let's say we're in the middle of a jump. Oh. So first frame, press shift. Oh wait, I'm not subscribed to you, Hector? Oh, hold on. Oh, look at that. But just because I'm subscribed to you does not mean you're allowed to speak any more than you were before. So frames 2 through 3, continue to hold shift. And description here. Trying to perform a 3.5 frame jump. So frame 4. So clearly, at the 4th frame, we'll have to perform a release shift. Let go of the shift button so that we don't go any higher than a 4-frame jump. But then what? If we want to go below a 4-frame jump, we'll have to perform release shift again. But to perform release shift again, that means in the first place we'll have to press shift again. So that's the question. When do we perform the second pressing a shift? Oh, what are you going to say? When you do micro jumps, okay. Interesting. Do you perform micro jumps the way I explained how to do them before? Like what buttons do you use for your micro jump? I mean, okay, so you do it the same method. Huh. That's strange. I'm not sure how to explain that, but that would probably involve someone involved in the strange differences in between these techniques. But anyway, so frame 4 release shift, and the question is, we need to perform a second release shift. When do you perform the second pressing of shift? Well, let's say you tried it on frame 5 or later. Press shift, release shift, in performing your second release shift. Well, clearly this won't actually work, because if you press shift again on a later frame, that will obviously result in you double jumping. So, So that's clearly a problem. So that is not a solution to this. Because we cannot use our double jump early. If you look back at what the Cactus Jump looked like, you'll see that, yeah. You have to save your double jump till after it for this little gap here. Wait, fucking YouTube, stop glitching. What? No. Okay, there you go. So clearly that isn't the solution. So what is the solution? Well, the only possibility remaining is that you press shift in the same frame. And then on a later frame, you release shift again. And that would be your second release shift. So what happens in frame 4 then? What happens if shift is held at the start, so you go with the frame 4, your shift is already being held, but then you let go of shift, but then you press shift again. What happens here? So here's the question, will this result in a double jump or not? What would you guys guess would happen here? Would the game see that you've let go of shift and pressed it again? And would it respond double jump? Or would it respond in or would it respond with the single jump being continued because it ends and starts with shifting? Well, here's the question. We don't actually know what happens here, because so far Game Maker seems to be inconsistent with it. Wait, Hector, can you describe to me again how you do your... Wait, Lemon, what did you say here? It is not distinguished between shifts properly, so pressing both at the same time counts as one press, I think. Okay. Yeah, Lemon, that could be an explanation of how you do it, but I want to see how he does it. So you slide your thumb from one shift button to the next. So that's essentially what happens here. You press shift, and then you slide it over to the other shift. And if you do it that way, that essentially results in a shift, releasing of shift, and pressing of shift happening at almost the exact same time, i.e. in one frame. So clearly, what do you do with that? No, what do you mean, Hector? Okay, so that might be explaining what's happening there. Would you say that you press A and B in the same frame? Yeah, it would be the same as what Lemon said if that's what's happening. Okay, so that could be an explanation of how this is working then. Okay, apparently it's not what Lemon said. You can see why this is getting confusing. Because we're obviously trying to figure out what the player's input is related to what the game is reading. Like, what's different from what you're experiencing in 1 Lemon is? It is A before B before a short period of time, both buttons are pressed. But would you say that that A is pressed over a frame before B is pressed? Like, how long does it take you to press B button relative to A? Okay, Hida, thanks for coming. Like, if you, how long does it take for the second? How long does it take you to press B? Like, do you press B like 100th of a second after you press A, or is it more like a couple frames after you press A, you press B? Like, is it virtually instantaneous? Yeah, let's try testing this out for a second. Hold on. Okay, so let's actually try figuring this out live. Let's see if we can get a better understanding of the Cactus Jump live. So this is basically to see if we can figure out a more flexible way to use this technique. Okay. So I'm gonna use so this is how I discover these things on a frame by frame level. I want to record my jumps, and then I put it into Cheat Engine and lower the game down to 1 frame per second, so I can really see how this game works on a frame by frame level. So let's see if this explains it. So hold down right shift, then try and jump with left shift. Should I press both shifts in the same frame, or should I wait for the next frame to occur? Wait for next frame, okay. So let me set up the jump. Okay, what's the dimensions of the Cactus Jump again? Well, it could apply specifically to Cactus Jump, I think. Yeah, it should apply, I think. How high is the second spike above ground again? Do you remember the dimensions of this game? You know what, I might as well just go up to, I might as well just do this in Cactus Jump. Hold on, I want to be the Cactus Jump. Other Fangames, I should have it still here, yeah I do, okay. So, as you guys can see, this jump is a lot harder than it looks, just basic jumping into it will not work. Okay. So, let's see if we can test out tactical explanation of the technique here. This will be interesting. That didn't work. Hold on. What did you want? I can't hear my music. I don't know what you guys want. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. It's kind of hard to see the timing here, but let's see here. Okay, so that's why I did that right here. Nope. Yeah, I'm releasing the two shifts at different times, and it's not working. I'm pressing them on different frames, and I'm letting go of them on different frames. Oh wait, wrong button. Pfft. Let's try pressing both shifts at the same frame. Hold on. So let's make it more like what Lemons just did then. Yeah, it's not working. Yep. Yeah, it's the same problem as I was having with the other way of timing technique. That's kind of the thing with the Cactus Jump. For some reason, it seems to be able to work when people do it at full speed. But when players test it out, well, by players I mean me, whenever I do my frame-by-frame testing of it, it no longer seems to work. So we're not exactly sure of how this works. Clearly, as this past conversation has showed, we have a basic idea of how to do the Cactus Jump, but whenever we test it on a frame-by-frame level, it seems to fail. So maybe it has to do with how Game Maker reads the order of operations that all occur in the same frame. Yeah, it could be the problem. It could be because a frame is so long at 1 FPS that the game maker's method of reading your input in each individual frame glitches. So maybe that could be it. I'm not sure. Obviously, it's hard to understand a technique if you can't see how it works on a frame-by-frame level, so unfortunately, all we know about this technique so far is how players do it at full speed. And if you want to get a little better understanding of how it works at full speed, just ask Hector and Lemon, because they clearly are both able to do it at full speed. But as for me, I don't have any clear understanding of how this works. But I will keep you guys posted if I find any more information about this technique. All we know so far is that it seems to exist. There does seem to be a way that you can perform these sort of fractional jump heights that are between, say, 3 frames and 4 frames. You can walk 1.5 pixels if you add half speed. I did do a task of that. I'll explain what I did for that later, but it's different. I'll show you what that was later. So actually, let's get into that right now. So now that I've explained the basics of jump canceling and the explosives of Cactus Jumping, I'm now ready to go on to my next technique, which is vertical pixel strings. This is the one that we were talking about before that has a very similar name to vertical lines, but it's pretty different. Okay. Oh wait, let me see this. Let me see the reading order. Yeah, it does not distinguish between the shift buttons. But what happens, according to my frame-by-frame testing, is that if you press one shift and then the other, and then you let go of one of the shifts, the game does not consider that a release shift. The game only seems to consider it to be a release shift when you let go of all of the shifts, at least in frame-by-frame. At least on frame-by-frame, release shift only occurs when all shifts are unpressed. Yeah, okay, I'll show you how to do that, Schwarzenegger. This isn't particularly advanced or anything, but let me show you how you would do that jump you're confused with. I think I have a clip of it here. For anyone who wants, the jump Schwarzenegger was confused with, I think it's this one right here. No, it's the one after, 14. So this is actually a harder version of the jump you're referring to, right? So, Sword, this looks like the jump you're trying, right? But much harder, correct? Okay, so the way you do this jump is, first off, you need to be on the correct horizontal line. What you want is to be able to get as close to this bottom spike here as possible before running into the spike. So how do you get as close as possible to that? Well, first off, imagine that there was a block here instead of a spike, okay? And if you ran into that wall, you would be on the line you want, because that wall would put you just as close as you can to the spike. So you want to have that align. And the way you get that align is you go over 1, 2, 3 walls over, and this wall here, you touch this wall, and that puts you on the right align. You can't have that align, Kinada. Well then, if you need the other line, then you would want, if you can't have that align, then you would want the line of this wall right here. Well, what are you talking about, Hector? This is the line I use when I beat the game. But okay, if you have to use the other line that would work would also be this wall right here. If you touch the left side of this little line here, that would be the same thing. Well, almost the same thing. Because now you'll be 64 pixels away from the spike. You move 63 pixels forward, which is a multiple of 3. And you're just 1 pixel away from the spike. So that's the second closest line. So those are the two lines you would want to choose from if you have to beat this double corner jump here. So that's the best explanation I got for you. Oh wait, might as well show you that I actually succeeded there. Just as proof. Yeah, okay. And by the way, this little part here at the end makes it a very difficult jump. I'm pretty sure this is a little harder than the one you were showing. Lemon, goddammit, I'll stream another attempt at Neil Master next week. Anyway, so what I was going to get onto now is vertical pixel strings. Where is that? Okay. So let me demonstrate what vertical pixel strings are. Basically, the idea behind vertical pixel strings is that it's kind of like your horizontal line. The basic idea is that when you do a jump, your movement is not continuous. Like, there's a series of... Yeah, I know, Lemon. It's the way this works is that, like, remember, when you do a full jump, for example, your height at every frame is, in a sense, predetermined once you do your jump. Like, when you do a full jump, it is actually possible to calculate which pixels you will touch and which pixels you will sort of skip over in between the frames. Like your first, after the first frame, you will skip the first 8 pixels, and your height will actually increase by about 8.1 pixels, and so on and so forth. And these sort of heights that you just skip past can cause problems, and I'll demonstrate that here. So look at this little jump right here. Well, I wouldn't really call it a jump, but we see we have this very tiny little gap here. as it happens, this is a 21 pixel gap, and since the kid is 21 pixels tall, that means he just barely fits in here. Like, I'm mashing a shift button right now, and you can't even see him jump, because there's literally nowhere to jump. So it's a pretty tight little hole. Now, let's say I was up here, and I wanted to enter the hole. And let's just arbitrarily say that for some reason you can't double jump here. Like, you can't just fall down and just double jump through. You have to use your single jump or nothing else. Well, it doesn't seem too hard. I mean, what if we just run forward and fall in? The kid can fit in this hole, so he'll probably fall right through, right? Nope, he does not. You could try all you like, and you could try any via line, but the kid will never successfully enter this hole here. He just falls right past it. And the reason is because this hole is on the wrong vertical pixel string. When the kid falls, all of his heights are predetermined. He first falls by 0.4, then by 0.8, then by 1.2, then by 1.6, and so on and so forth. And these heights he's at are the vertical pixel string of this fall. And this hole, as it happens, is in between the pixels he can actually enter. So he's on this will be the wrong vertical pixel string, and this fall doesn't actually work. So what you need to do is you need to find the right height you can jump that will actually let you enter the hole. And in the end, your best way here is just trial and error. So let's see if I can get into this hole. That didn't work. That didn't work. Well, as it happens, I contrive this jump so that a full jump will work. So I'll full jump in here, and you will see that I get into the hole. So a full jump does put you on the right vertical pixel string for this jump. So it's a pretty simple concept, and it's pretty commonly a problem in games that involve very long falls. That if you're on the wrong vertical pixel string, it will actually make a part of the jump impossible. And the two things that determine your vertical pixel string are your starting height, which is usually just the block you choose, but it's also affected by your vertical line, and the height of your jump. So to show you this in action, let's go back to one of Hector's videos. As he mentioned, some of his games have a tendency to require this. Oh, hold on, new window. Oh, what the fuck? Well, I'll actually remember to change regions this time. Here we go. YouTube region. Wait, which one was it? It was your last video, right? With the octa corner in it. Hold on. Does that come up from a nice YouTube search? Yes, here it does. First thing that comes up. So here is a jump Hector made where he has to jump through 8 corners in a row. Now the important part is right here, this 5th corner. As you're gonna see in this video, the way he gets through this corner is that he just keeps holding left after he touches this wall here. He just runs to this wall, holds left, and he falls through. So that makes it seem easy, right? So just jump in, falls through, and voila, he made it through the 5th corner of the 8. So that part looks easy. The problem is that he can only get through that hole right there by falling if he's on the correct vertical pixel string, or else it'll be too high or too low, and he will miss it completely. Which means that he actually has to single jump from a specific height. Like, he single jumps to just the right height there to go into it. Like, it actually looks like he went a little higher than you would think he would have for this jump, because that is what he needs to do to get on the pixel string that lets him beat that jump. So that's a basic example of it. Here's the one that we were talking about before, and I want to beat a Butterfly Nova. Skip to the fun part. So let's see here. Let's go back to, so you know this changed a little bit around because he changed from the original version to the mod. But let's look back at the original one. Well, you know what, actually, we might as well just start with the modded version, because it's actually easier to talk about. So this part right here, let's look at the end of this jump. This jump is a super precise double jump, where you have to like jump over the corner, over this spike here, under this one, and make it to this block. And as it happens, you have to do this jump from a very specific position. When you're doing this double jump, you have to be at just the right height, with like a pixel or two margin of error, for you to have any chance at all to beat this jump. So if you're on the wrong vertical pixel string, on one frame you'll be too high, on the next frame you'll be too low, and in either frame, if you do your double jump, you will fail the jump. So let's see here. The easiest way to get into the right vertical pixel string in this version of the jump is to do a 21 frame jump, which is, by the way, just under a full jump. A full jump is 23 frames long and is 86.1 pixels. A 21 frame jump is 86 pixels. So 0.1 pixel less than a full jump is what you need here to get into the right vertical pixel string. And yes, of course, because the creator obviously tested this jump, and he obviously found it way too easy, he had to add an extra spike here. But anyway, so if you do precisely a 21 frame jump, you'll be able to get into the right vertical pixel string, and this double jump will be possible, as you'll see here. Yep. Let's look again. Oh wait, there. That's the original version with the ceiling. So he jumps a lot higher than you would think he has to, simply because that gets him onto that right vertical pixel string, and he finishes the jump. And then the save. Now let's go back to the original version then. So in the original version, a 21 frame jump will not actually work because you will just bonk your head on the ceiling, which, as it happens, puts you on the wrong vertical pixel string. This ceiling does put you on the right vertical pixel string, but then you can't get over these spikes here, so it doesn't work anyway. That's convenient. So the question is, how do you do this jump? Almost all 21 frame jumping is the only jump height that actually works. No, but even with bunny hopping, the only heights that would work, I think the 14 frame and 20 and the 21 frame jumps all result in you hitting the ceiling. And if you do a lower jump, no matter which frame height you use, it will put you on the wrong vertical pixel string. So, but here's the question. Is there a technique that we know of that lets you do a special height single jump that will get you onto the right vertical pixel string? No, but it doesn't affect anything. The speed which you hit a ceiling does not affect what happens afterwards. I actually don't know much about ceiling hitting physics. I had to do some more research on that. But as far as I know, the speed which you hit the ceiling does not affect anything. So, guys, do we know a technique that lets you single jump at a special height that will allow you to do this? Oh, really? It doesn't matter which height you hit the speed of the ceiling? I mean, I did my testing, and it did not affect anything. It did not affect anything to the nearest hundredth of a pixel. Oh, wait, okay. It maybe does make a difference what speed you do. What does not make a difference is the height of your jump. Because obviously that doesn't matter. If you hit the ceiling with a low jump versus hitting with a high jump, but the difference in jump height isn't until after you hit the ceiling, then of course it doesn't make a difference. So maybe it does matter. I don't know. What I do know is that if you hit the ceiling, no matter what the situation is here, it will fail. So that's all I can guarantee you. So then what technique do we use here that lets you jump at a special height? Anyone besides Sector? What jump have we discussed in the past 5 minutes? What technique that lets you jump at a special height? Like a special fractional frame height. What technique am I referring to here? Chat. Thank you, Den got it. So, as it happens, a cactus jump lets you, because it gives you so much flexibility of your single jump height, using a cactus jump, it is possible to get onto virtually any vertical pixel string you want. Just combine cactus jump with vertical line, and you have full flexibility of your vertical lines. But of course, that makes it extremely hard, especially because we still don't have much understanding of how Cactus Jump works. But, as I will show you through this task, it is possible to beat this jump by using a Cactus Jump at the beginning to get onto the right line. So as I mentioned before, I have Taz this jump. So clip, which clip am I supposed to be showing here? Clip hard jump. Where the fuck is that? There we go. Ah, what the hell? Make this window a little smaller. Okay. So let's look at this jump here. Wait, am I in... Oh yeah, I forgot to change regions again. Pfft, silly me. So look at this jump here. What you're going to see happening is, it won't be obvious, but I'm going to actually do a cactus jump to do a special single jump height that gets me onto the vertical pixel spring. And then at this exact point here, I'll be able to do my double jump and land on the edge, as you'll see. Okay, so you can see why most of us consider this jump virtually humanly impossible, because it's just so stupid. It requires an extremely specific cactus jump. I think it was like 5 frames of shift and release, then perform another 4 or so frames of jump before you release again, and that will let you do just the right cactus jump. They'll put you on just the right vertical strength, and blah blah blah, and you win. But you still also have to do everything else perfectly precisely. So it's very stupid. And plus, of course, you've had to land on a ledge, because it would be too easy otherwise. Clearly a game the creator fully tested. And then yes, because if you're like me, you'll fuck that ending up completely. So, hold on a second. But yeah, Hector asked before how I tazzed this when I don't actually know how Cactus Jump works. The way I tazzed it was by making use of save states. Like, I first slowed the game down very much because I had to count the frames here. But then what I did was I did a save state, and then I pressed shift, then I pressed load state, and what happens there is shift is being held again, but the game does not result in press shift being occurred because the pressing of the shift was outside of the gameplay. And then I can let go of shift again, and that results in a jump, in a release shift or a jump cancel. So obviously that will work for Taz's, but does not work in regular gameplay. Yeah, the game QOB was not this game. He tried beating this. He claims he beat this jump in 10 tries. He claimed this jump was trivial, and then he tried again after we found out it was virtually impossible, and he said he could no longer do it. So I'm assuming something happened differently. This was not the jump that was originally in this game. But yeah, this is a Taz little cactus jump. And as my final example of this jump of vertical pixel springs in practice, is not as complex actually. I probably should have shown this earlier, but let's go back to this. Wait, hold on. Load recording 10. So if you've played Brood of a Man, or specifically if you've seen the stage 7, you'll recognize this jump. It was actually impossible in the original version, but Lemon modded it so that this apple right here, which was originally down here, was one higher. When the apple's down here, it's actually completely impossible because the kid can't go forward until it's too late. He can't finish this jump. There are people screaming outside my window, and I have no fucking idea why. What the hell are they chanting? I don't know. Life on the college campus. Anyway, but now that the apple was raised up in the mod version of Root of Man, which I'm playing right now, as you guys know, I'm working on stage 6, and now that I finished my last video, I can finally switch over to Lemon's mod. But anyway, even the modded version, this jump is still very difficult because thanks to vertical pixel string problems, you can't just fall forward and do this jump like you. It seems like you would. Like that seems like that's what you would do here, but that puts you on the wrong vertical pixel string. One frame you're too high and you jump into this spike. Next frame you're too low and you can't jump over the spike at all. So try as you like. If you try it that way, it's completely impossible. Obviously, my timing is here is completely horrible right now, but even if it wasn't, you would still say that this is impossible. Lemon really didn't design this change. I was kind of the one who told him what to do here. And I had already previously tested this version of the jump. Like this recording I'm showing you now is actually a very old recording from even before he modded the game. And I had seen that this was how this becomes possible, though only barely. And obviously, because I'm a glutton for pain, I told him to make this jump. And to be fair, this is probably the simplest way to change the original jump while making it physically possible. So even though it still requires a stupid technique that I'm virtually certain that the creator had no knowledge of, this is the jump as it is in Lemon's mod. But anyways, what you want to do for this jump is do a 7-frame single jump, and that'll put you on the right vertical pixel string no matter what your V-line is. If you do a 6-frame single jump, it will work on certain V-lines. When I actually get this far in the game, the way I'll probably do this is first put myself on the correct V-line so that that will work even if I do a 6-frame single jump, and then I'll try to do somewhere in between. Like I'll try doing between 6 and 7-frame jumps, and either way, it will be possible. Yeah, if you remove this apple here, that would clearly make it possible, and it would obviously not require any of this crap. But I did not want to do that because that would make it a much different from the original intended jump. I wanted to keep it as close as possible to the spirit of the original concept of the jump, so I told him to do it like this, even though this is going to be painfully difficult for. And by the way, this jump here is at the end of the segment, so very fun. It's at the end of a very hard segment that also includes that infamous squish diamond that I was talking about before that also requires V-line abuse. So that was clearly a very well designed segment in a game that did not originally have a Y position counter. So yeah, it's a good thing that I told Lemon to add in that Y position counter, because otherwise it would be so fucking bullshit. Well, on the bright side, the Super F can be trivialized because the save is right here. So when I get this far, I'll just do this double jump and I'll shoot. I will almost certainly not get over the block, but I can at least shoot the save and win. So good enough. So obviously, with that in mind, this is clearly a very easy segment. Clearly, that trivializes everything because there's this one save at the end, so one less jump than we thought we had to. But the rest of it, with this bullshit jump and the squish diamond and the bunch of weird apple jumps, which are, by the way, even weirder if you realize that you have to do apple bobbing manipulation to succeed. That was another problem with it, by the way. Combining all of those things together, it's a pretty decently difficult segment. Though still not the hardest segment in the game. I can guarantee you there are harder segments in this one. So this is gonna be fun. I can't wait to get this far in the game. For now, I'm working on stage 6, which also has some V-line crap in it, but whatever. Anyway, so that's Cactus Jumping, and now that we've done that, is there? Yes, there is. The last jump, I think, requires V-lines. Luckily, it's not too bad because most V-lines work. You will only have trouble if your V-line is the top 0.5. Not counting the last one. Oh no, besides that one. Though there is some apple bobbing manipulation in the first segment of the stage, actually, that I recently discovered, so that's fun. But anyway. The 19 corners, no, it's 16 corners. What are you talking about? It's 16 corners. But that's still pretty bad. And they're water corners, which make them harder. Oh, well. I mean, I mean, your best. What do you mean your best? Your best was done with 16 or 8. I mean, 8 or 9 corners in one jump. At least it's not all in one fucking jump, so I can at least relax, take my time for each jump. It is plenty of AIDS, stage 8. Plenty and plenty of AIDS. I don't think. Yeah, the water makes it worse again. I don't think that stage 8 is going to be the hardest segment in the game, though. I honestly think there's going to be at least one segment in stage 7, or perhaps the second of stage 2. Not the second segment of stage 6. One of those, there's going to be segments somewhere there that I imagine will be more difficult than stage 8. So I highly doubt that will be the hardest part of the game. But it might be. I mean, considering how long it is, and how many precise parts of it is, I don't know, it will take me a long time to beat. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, maybe water corners are just so hard because we're not used to them, or I don't know. They have a very specific timing. If I learn exactly what position to use for each individual one of those 16 corners, I might be able to do it. I think I can. It will just take me a long time. So yeah. Oh, you are used to the animal. That's very reassuring. I'm sure I'll have plenty of fun. I mean, I didn't think I'd be able to beat stage 5. But I did that, so it's amazing what you can do with your infinitude of lives. But anyway, and it's been a long stream, so I might as well just finish this up. The last thing I wanted to show you guys was another version of jump canceling, which is known as repeated jump canceling. So this will be my final technique of the night. Then, have you made any progress on Brood of a Man since then? And I swear to God, if you find if that one segment really easy because you can just trivialize with your jump canceling, then oh my God, I'll be so frustrated with you. Well, if I'm lucky, you'll get stuck at the second segment and you will never be able to prove me wrong. I shouldn't bear you ill will. Good luck. But I hope you suffer on that stage. Anyway, so jump canceling, repeated jump canceling. So obviously, I mentioned before that the concept of jump canceling is that it lets you do repeated release shifts. Okay, so I've been discussing up to now how to do 2 of them. How to do an extra release shift in the form of jump cancel, but really there's no limit. You can perform release shift as many times as you want until your jump is completely extinguished. So you can actually perform a repeated jump canceling, such as double jump You could, for example, double cancel a double jump.